Hey folks, this is Best in Slot, and as you may have seen, rather unexpectedly, the full prologue for Jurassic World Dominion has now landed. We weren't expecting it until 2 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. We were expecting it in another 10 hours or so, but it dropped early. Very exciting stuff. We're going to watch it right here on the channel. We're going to talk about it, discuss it, break it down as we go through it. I have never seen this before, so I'm going to be reacting a little bit as we go as well. I'm very, very excited to check it out. Let's go, yeah. Finally, we've got some proper marketing on the go for Jurassic World Dominion. It feels like it's been a long time overdue. They need to, I think, maybe push it a little bit harder, but what do I know? I suggested that on Twitter once, and I got some very condescending replies. Anyways, of course, if you want to watch this whole thing, it is up on the channel. I will be talking over this and pausing it and that kind of malarkey. Love that the Rex thing really emphasizes the Jurassic World nature of the franchise these days. So here we are in I think we're meant to be in the Cretaceous. These massive prehistoric trees. Already got this kind of walking with dinosaurs kind of vibe to it in a way, you know? Am I crazy? Because it feels like a real world environment. Got some prehistoric insects. Looks like a cicada. Love the muscle movement there. So this should be our Dreadnoughtus. Look at that. Look at the graphics. I mean, of course, it's a real-world environment. What am I on about? Yeah, that is our Dreadnoughtus, our big Titanosaur. And the exciting thing about this is hopefully we're going to end up getting that in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, I still don't know what these smaller pterosaurs are, but flying in right here is our really beautifully well-designed Quetzalcoatlus. Stunning. Right, okay, so we do need to actually talk about this. I can't just sit here in awe of what I'm observing, because there's some problems with anachronisms here and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of the actual design of the creatures, this is some of the best stuff that Jurassic World has ever put together. The Dreadnoughtus is spectacular. It's nigh on perfect. Again, don't know what these little guys are. There's very small pterosaurs you can see here that's kind of got this long, thin beak, and it kind of looks like a Jurassic World version of the Pteranodon in a way, but surely it's a bit small for that, no? I love how the Quetzalcoatlus, it's not flapping its wings or anything. As it moves in it's just gliding down towards its roosting point. Begins to slow down a little bit, you know, using the wings to kind of flap forward, slope stuff down, use the power of the wind to bring itself to a close. And we can see these little pterosaurs here, if it doesn't go quite as crazy. What are they? It kind of does look like a Pteranodon, doesn't it? I think it actually... Look at the beak shape here, look at the head shape. That is absolutely a Jurassic World-style Pteranodon right there. But the Quetzalcoatlus is a thing of sheer beauty. I'm so excited to have something like this in the franchise. I really hope we get to see it in modern times. I really hope we get to see it in Jurassic World Evolution 2. But given the size difference, if I was going to add the Quetzalcoatlus Jurassic World Evolution 2, I would not have it in the aviary. It would be a free-roaming creature and just make it not fly, essentially. Or make it only able to fly within the confines of the enclosure, something like that. It looks brilliant anyway. I love the sort of furry texture we've got going along here at the back, that really long neck, the massive wings, and really this is what you want to see in the background with it walking on all fours like a quadruped. It's almost alien-esque feel to its morphology. Has a little snap around. Looks brilliant. Okay, let's move on. This is just going to be me gushing over the whole thing, by the way. Ankylosaurus. The interesting thing about the Ankylosaurus, so we've got this Quetzalcoatlus, we've got this Dreadnoughtus. They're quite realistic, right? They're not perfect, but they're fairly close to a paleo-accurate version of this creature. Ankylosaurus, however, basically the suggestion here is that the version of Ankylosaurus that exists in this universe looks like this. Now, this is not what Ankylosaurus looks like, of course. This is the Jurassic Park version of Ankylosaurus. But what would have been interesting is if we had a more realistic-looking Ankylosaurus here compared to our modern interpretation of the Ankylosaurus in Jurassic Park. And that would kind of suggest that, you know, they could have made a realistic Ankylosaurus, but they made this big, bulky tank version because they thought it would sell better for the park, basically. Instead, they've kind of retconned dinosaurs to turn them into the Jurassic Park version of it. It still looks great, though. Go on a little flap there. Awesome looking environment. This is absolutely our short-crested Pteranodon, isn't it? So again, another thing they've kind of pushed into existence. There's the Oviraptor. Again, feathering, full feathering, very beautiful looking feathering as well. Love it on the tail, the way it's drooping down there. And it's an oviraptor in a dinosaur piece of media, so of course it's eating an egg. Of course it bloody is. Now, just to point this out, I'm not saying that oviraptor wouldn't have eaten eggs. Of course it would have. But given that it was only called the oviraptor and only given this egg-eating designation because of a mistake initially, it seems a little silly that every time we see oviraptor in any form of media, it is inevitably feasting upon eggs. But it does look fantastic. Obviously, we can't see too much, but the crest shape is really cool. And just the way the feathering is splaying out down here at the back of the tail and just sort of coating the body is it's fantastic. It's so good to finally have creatures that look like this in the franchise. It's going to open the door between this and Camp Cretaceous, open the door so much more to new possibilities. Moves like a bird. There's our Nasutoceratops. Lovely little hood of him. Little baby! Oh, wait, I just want to hear that noise again. Let's turn it up a little bit. Oh! Actually adorable. That Nasuto, actually, interestingly enough, you can see it's got a broken horn, probably, you know, from combat, or it was doing the evolution to social interaction and it got a little bit too feisty. Either way, that's a pretty cool little detail. Proper herding motion. It really does feel like a nature documentary. Oh, it feels like Walking with Dinosaurs, but oh, look at it bathing itself. But, you know, come to life. How much do we need a proper documentary like this? We really do. So that is our Morose Intrepidus, which is a Tyrannosaurid. I'm assuming it's meant to be a baby. It's definitely much smaller than our dino over here, which I'm assuming is the Giga. But it wouldn't be that much smaller. It wouldn't be, you know, bottom jaw size. This must be a baby Morose. But again, this was the first feathered dinosaur we ever saw, other than the little hints of it back in Jurassic Park 3. And again, it's all over coverage. And it does have a downy kind of feel to it, and the way that it's coating the entire body does suggest to me that it's probably younger rather than older. If it's meant to be older, it's obviously massively undersized. So let's assume it's a baby. And he's waking up. There's our Iguanodon, again looking absolutely fantastic. Love the beak, love the general design. It's really cool that we've got all these... Iguanodon, for some reason, always seems to get really cool representations in media. Maybe we feel bad about how we used to represent Iguanodon back in the day, which was, you know, a little bit of a disaster, if we're totally honest, with the thumb spike on the nose. Iguanodon is not about this life. So that is our first proper look, if you've not been, you know, checking out the leaks and stuff, at the Giganotosaurus. I think your feelings on this, I have mixed feelings on this. I quite like the design. I don't mind a big, spiky Jurassic World style dinosaur. My problem with it here more so is that it doesn't really feel like it fits the environment, you know. Okay, first of all, it wouldn't be here in the first place. You know, that doesn't make sense. But, this is a very cool, realistic, almost documentary feeling situation, and then we've got this essentially movie monster popping up, and that's what it is. But at the end of the day, the Spinosaurus was also a bit of a movie monster, and we grew to love it. I do think Spinosaurus is better, but Giga can earn my heart. And I do want to see it in Jurassic World Evolution too, I really do. I want to hear that noise again. Yeah, Iguanodon, it's time to move, buddy. I love that guttural noise. And then Rex pops up. There we go. A little bit, you can see here, we've got a little bit of, not feathering, but like fibre texture going here along the snout of the Rex and along the back. And even down here at the chest. Again, it's coated in this like downy kind of texture, which I quite like. It's kind of, it looks like the modern Jurassic World Rex, but there's a little hint to the past there as well. And a little bit more of a hint towards the paleo-ness, well, slightly outdated. Well, we don't really know. I'm not going to get into that right now. Step on the feces. You know, we'd make sure you do, just in case. And the two titans are going to square up to each other. Now, obviously, these are two dinosaurs that would never have had any contact whatsoever, but that's okay. It's a film. It is what it is. And they battle. Headbutt cracks. Very similar to the Rex Spino battle in a lot of ways, but, ooh, slipping. But a much more head-focused. You know, these are two dinosaurs with massive, bulky, powerful skulls. Makes sense that they're going to use their jaws, they're going to use their skulls as much as possible to do combat. Rex went down super easily, however, it must be said. Rex got absolutely smashed. It wasn't even slightly close. And the mosquito does her thing. Only the female mosquitoes that drink blood. And that sets up the the future. And we get a good look there at the huge scale of the Giga. It's worth noting we're not really seeing the colours of it. You get a little bit of a hint of it there at the end. It's kind of this dark blue sort of colour, and then this lighter creamy-ish sort of colour in these sort of jagged stripes down the side. It is very spiky and very monstery, but it is what it is. But Rex got destroyed. Let's just watch that one more time. It is basically just romping into each other. Giga slips a little bit, spins around, knocks Rex with its head, uses its head like a giant sledgehammer. And again, we really see this almost crocodilian detailing down here at the side of the body. It looks a little bit like Godzilla. I'll admit, I like the spine. It's very sudden jutting up for the back adornment. I think is pretty cool. Again, not sure for a Giga, but in just general, I think it's pretty cool. Clamps the jaws down. I mean, it would kill the Rex, don't get me wrong. Clamps the jaws down, spins it to the side, and Rex tumbles to the dirt. Pretty bloody easily. I still think it's a bit weird to have this hyper-realistic setting, and to have the Rex and the Giga fighting, because that is very at odds with each other, but that's up to you. Like, I totally understand why some people don't care about that, and some people do care about that. It bugs me a little bit. I don't think it was necessary. There was a whole thing about this on Twitter, and someone said that, and then the guy in charge of it, a very, very talented payload guy, I think it was Broussard who was involved, and he said, you just wait till you see the film, you'll understand why we did it. And like, we all know why, right? It's so that the Rex can kill the Giga in modern times. Let's just assume that's the case. That seems really super obvious to me. And this is setting up like a millions of years old rivalry between these two titanic carnivores. And I get that, and that's definitely the case, but it's cool. Does it need to be more than cool? That's up to you. So, helicopter scouting around. Obviously, the dinosaurs are out in the wild, scouting around now with our spotlights, trying to find them. Rex is bursting through the woodlands, although this would be Rexy post the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That man has a glorious mustache. Lobby, let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a drink. Or is it snack? I don't know. Rex, no longer furry. Very the Lost World Jurassic Park here. These people really need to pay a bit more attention. That is a really awkward kissing. Rex does look fantastic. She's never looked better. Not since like the original film, essentially. No care for everyone else, doing her own thing. Shades, little bit there. Very, very subtle shades of Jurassic Park when they get turned over in the car and it spins around a little bit. There, Lex and Tim would be in there right now with the mud seeping upwards. That right there. And that scene right there is actually pulled, if you flip that the other way, when the Rex emerges from the fencing in the original Jurassic Park. She's basically in that exact same pose, in that exact same screen filling. It's probably not the technical term, but you know what I mean. Same position on the screen, blah, blah, blah. This dude is, I love the lighting, I've got to say. This whole scene looks really great. She is looking fantastic. I love the darker eyeshadow going on now. The texturing on the face is beautiful. The muscle, the ligatures going on here, just, yeah. Classic roar. How are they going to take her down? You can't just kill her. Are they going to try to kill her? Oh no, that's a hell of a tranquilizer dart. Just nearly killed Bob and Ruth instead. American Graffiti and Flash Gordon. Classics. Damn, I don't see it.
Settle down, kid. She can't run forever.
That's what you know, buddy boy. Look, many times have we put a helicopter against a dinosaur in this franchise and it's gone terribly wrong. And that is the end. To be continued in theatres this summer, so June something? 22nd, 17th? I'm not going to say, I don't know. It's June sometime. Or is it July? I don't know. It's around there. Anyway, summer! It comes out in the cinema. Very, very exciting stuff. I am cautiously optimistic. I think if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I found... I'll just let this play in the background in silence. You'll know that I found Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom to be a little bit of a disappointment. It was my favourite film. So that inherently doesn't give me high hopes for Dominion, but the prologue's pretty great. This is one of the better things they've done. And I love some of the dinosaur designs and stuff like that. I think they're really fantastic. And the concept's pretty cool. At least it's something new completely. It's a whole new world, essentially, than what we've seen in the past. So there's a lot of potential here. My biggest concern for Dominion is it's going to lean really hard on nostalgia, and I do get that impression. And there's a few story beats that have been rumoured that do concern me, particularly concerning Alan and that lot. But you know, this stuff is beautiful. What is interesting though is the fact that they've released this clip is 5.5 minutes long. It does suggest that maybe this has been cut from the film. They said that when this was first released in cinemas, ahead of was it F9 this was released ahead of, they did say in interviews that that they weren't sure how much of this was going to make it into the film. You know, this wasn't a guarantee either way. I mean, I could see this entire bit here being cut, essentially, if they feel like it slows down the pacing a bit too much. I think it's a beautiful way to open the film, and I'd love to see it. It's something that the franchise has moved away from a bit too much for my liking, and I love seeing it here, is that just dinosaurs and now other prehistoric life just living their lives, you know. Herbivores just being herbivores and chilling and living their best life, and not necessarily less fighting and killing and murder, you know, just there's an opportunity for dinosaurs to be dinosaurs, and I think that's a really cool thing to have, and I'd love this to make it. I'm more than happy to watch this again, but the fact that it's been released in its entirety does make me a little suspicious about that happening, but we'll have to wait and see next summer, of course. Not that long to go. 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. Not that long at all. Hello, baby! So anyways, yeah, that is the Jurassic World Dominion prologue. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Did I miss anything obvious? Any cool little hints here? Any little throwbacks that I may have missed? Rexy looking absolutely fantastic. There's Bob and Ruth. Was it Bob? I can't remember. Either way, very curious to see where they go with this film, how they're going to bring it all together. Curious to see what they do with the Giga as well. It does look monstrous there, it really does. And also, it's worth mentioning again, very curious to see if we get this in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Will this design make it into the game? You have to assume it's going to, but the Giga, sure, but the Dreadnoughtus, the Quetzal and stuff like that, the Oviraptor, my concern really is that if the Prologue doesn't make it into the film, if all this gets cut, then maybe that gets cut from Evolution 2 as well. We'll have to wait and see. Not going to waste any more of your time. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I had a lot of fun with this. You know, it's cool to get back into Jurassic films again. It's been a long time. It's been quite a while anyway, since the hype days for Fallen Kingdom. And although I have some criticisms, I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I think that's okay. I'm trying not to be too nitpicky. But I think it's a really cool piece of media, and I think it's a good step forward for the Jurassic franchise. I think it's taking baby steps, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a definite step forward. And I think that should always be lauded, no matter what. So we can say, you know, there's other things that could be done, and ways it could improve further, sure, but you have to also acknowledge that at least it is attempting to grow. It's attempting to progress. That's my stance on it anyway. Everyone will have their own, you know, each of their own, blah, blah, blah. We'll end it there. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers much of as always. Throw me a like if you like the video. All that malarkey. Cheers much of as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.